yet she was digging it. Whereas, like, the song was about, no, not digging old people. She's digging an old person's song. So she changes the lyric. These kids yesterday.
Or maybe some producer
What are you doing?
was just like, Hillary, we don't want you singing about wanting to die. You have a lot of kids that are listening, so we need to change it so that way it doesn't sound like you're wishing death upon yourself.
Yeah, this was
I can see that being an overthought thing by a record producer and not even... She probably doesn't even know the real lyrics. They probably just said, here, sing this song. She's like, who's it by? Don't worry about it. Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to know. You don't have to know the meaning of it. It's going to be an empty-headed hit for your empty-headed audience.
I'm pretty sure it was probably on, like, Lizzie McGuire on the Disney Channel at some
100%.
point. Like, it makes sense.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because, I mean, Hillary's name gets dragged through the mud over this, and you guys are right. Probably had nothing to do with her.
So what about that horrible cover of Johnny Cash's Hurt by 9 Inch Nails? LOL. People always say that whenever we play 9 Inch Nails Hurt. They're like, why are you playing this version of the Johnny Cash song? Just play the Johnny Cash song.
Well, you know, I don't know how to tell you this, but how about this? Motley Crue makes the list, everybody, and not in a good way. People not digging Motley Crue's cover of the Sex Pistols' Anarchy in the UK.
This is kind of what got me into the Sex Pistols, oddly enough. Because I wasn't a Sex Pistols fan growing up, but I was a huge Motley Crue fan. And when they covered that song, and I saw it on the Headbangers Ball, I'm like, this song rocks. And then I found out it was a cover of the Sex Pistols, and then I got big into the Sex Pistols because of it.
I think, you know, for me, I just feel like you are nothing like the Sex Pistols.
And
that's, that's the problem, is that, you know, those bands that, you know, that when I was younger and they were basically against everything in all society and everything like that, Motley Crue, you know, they were bad boys, but not really. You know, they were bad boys in a decadent, look at me and all my money and I'm just an a-hole. It was almost like, you know...
And when it came out, it was at the height of them being rock stars. Like, this wasn't them when they were... Or, like, you know, if there was Motley Crue in the 80s, when they were still scrapping by, I think people maybe would have been like, oh, if they're a punky metal band... I get what it, but the blurb is just great, dude. It says Motley Crue had punk spirit in their prime, but this 1991 Sex Pistols cover was about as punk as Coldplay. The thrilling energy of the original is reduced to a bloated heap of demeasuring and hairspray, with Vince Neil saying, you know, to curse like a boorish old brat. If you ever wondered what Johnny Rotten and Company would sound like getting made over by Steel Panther and Peter Griffin from Family Guy, wonder no more.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock at 99.9 KISW.
In case you were taking a tour of Aurora Avenue during the last Men's Room performance, here's what you missed.
What's your job as a parent is to embarrass your kids.
Why though, man?
I'll tell you why, because you can.
I get it. He's a little kid. Reaching his cycle. Sure, we shouldn't be embarrassed of this, but we are.
But you're going to be, because here's the deal. I had to clean it up. That's the entire difference. Like, look, the only way I can balance this to make this moment okay is that when you get older, I'm sharing this story. That's the only thing that makes cleaning your poop off the ball worthwhile. That is why parents do it.
The Men's Room, weekday afternoons on The Rock, 99.9. Listen on your smart speaker. Just say, play KISW.
As CEO of Jack in the Box, I wake up at dawn every day to get to work.